Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to introduce to you my crew, my fam. Come on, y'all. It's that Belle song. Let's go. Yeah, Bob Ella, reppin' that, Detroit City. Come on, get your hands up, y'all. Come on, yeah. Let's go. It's the Bob Ella, y'all, reppin' that, Detroit City. Get your hands up. Come on, yeah. Let's go.
Together to enjoy the earth and all that is natural. Sitting here looking at the Canadian border. Water's beautiful, the sky is up, shining in blue. It's a gorgeous day in the city of Detroit.
It's righteous out here. Peace, everybody.
So right now, as far as the city, we're undergoing a bankruptcy, going through changes, and as far as our new representative as mayor. Our urban lifestyle in Detroit is unlike any. You're a traveler. Tell us about your experience as far as the Detroit urban experience and then other experiences you've had.
It's honestly night and day because, you travel. I've traveled extensively in the U.S., most of the major cities in each of the states, and I have traveled to Mexico. Besides that, I can't speak on anything else, but in terms of the U.S., you don't see anything like Detroit was. Now it's changing.
It is changing.
It's changing. Everything is changing always, but there's a big change going on right now because of the effort to revitalize. So the main difference that I would see is in going to other cities, people are out and business is happening, and you don't find areas of emptiness. You don't find blocks with abandoned stores. Every inch of a vital downtown area is meant to be vital.
I really kind of feel like, based on a contrast from Canada's economy and Detroit's economy, I feel like if the interest of the people was at heart, then there wouldn't be too much of an issue to give your people clean streets and so even outside of the budget. People have always, in small towns and cities outside of Detroit's urbanage, they've been able to come together and get those things done. Just get them done, just because they need to be done. But in Detroit, even through the mayors and the city councils and those who are supposed to be responsible for getting the people what they need, it always comes down to money.
It's a high level of fear, I think, that causes that in any kind of situation, because when you understand that you receive blessings based on how you give, you understand that everybody's going to be good if you keep working towards a greater good. Now, if you are used to, like I think a lot of people are in this city specifically, or afraid of not having, then you're always going to try to self-gain. And that's going to cause lack for other people who may need a more community effort. There are leaders, there are people out here who can go ahead and get what they need, and then there's, I think, a greater audience who will rely on a more community setting where everybody gives what they're able to give, and it works out for everybody. Same thing as hip-hop. Like we're talking about roles of males and females in hip-hop. So when I think about hip-hop, I think about a culture, like a community, like a city, or however you want to pose that as a community. It could be a city, it could be a nation, whatever it is. It's an organization. So based on human spirituality and functionality, like what you need as a human being, what you need as a spiritual being, and because you're both. So when I think about hip-hop community and the different roles that people can play, for instance, male and female, and what those are supposed to be, it may be that females have not been able to enjoy the same roles as men on a more upfront situation for a long time now because of certain attitudes or the nature of things, maybe just. But if you check, it's probably a female behind a lot of those situations making the shit run, and a lot of times that may be the appropriate place for her to be. A lot of times, you don't want to limit anybody. That's the main thing. You don't want to limit anybody because everybody's talent is their gift to give. And the more we allow people to give their gifts in the way that they should give their gift, then it's going to be better for everybody.
I really think the village should be brought back to hip-hop.
That's what we're talking about.
Considering the fashion, the dance, the MC, the DJing, like the knowledge, that's an entire economical system laid in front of us, like you said. There's no reason why we need to let our egos and let the competition affect our judgment so much. Even though everybody's trying to make it, it's just that no one ever considers the fact that together we'd move a lot further walking a straight line than we were if everyone was trying to knock each other back.
It's interesting because you never know what's going to work. We have had certain templates for how a society should be run and what there needs to be, and obviously we can learn from the standards of success or failure that we've seen, right? You need a certain infrastructure that's going to take care of basic community needs in, say, we're talking about the village of hip-hop. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be on stage. When you plant a seed or you start a business or you even are a leader, the type of leader who does good for goodness sake, it's going to come back to you and your surroundings in mass, more than you could ever imagine earning from your business plan. I think that's an elevated attitude of business. I know that's an elevated attitude of business, and it's one that can really sustain, the communities that Ambiance is talking about or urging to organize at this time, because the people who have created Detroit Soul are going to be edged out of the situation if they don't act. And that's why I talked about things changing here, so much. I think, how we've been a trademark of culture for so long. How is that going to change if the people who have been that soul for so long are dispersed and killed off? Now, when she's talking about downtown being our downtown, that's the truth. And even now, I'm not knocking the plan that's going on right now. If however you want to attract people in, everybody, I'm not saying anyone's not supposed to be here. Everybody's supposed to be here. So, however you want to attract them in, let's use that to our benefit. They're going to be here with lots of new ideas and lots of new money, but like Ambiance said, let's stake the ground. Let's stake the ground and keep that soul in it. It's always been a city of immigration, and that's what makes it. If they're immigrating from the suburbs and eventually from around the world back here now, it's all good. It's all good, but we got to stay here too.
Yes. Hold our ground.
So anyway, back to the elevated business attitude, the elevated entrepreneur has to think sustainably. And that's holistically. That's organically and naturally, by the nature of things. The nature of things is one. It's one thing. It's one thing. And that's not just you. That includes everything.
You have to appreciate the purpose of your practice people think a lot of things are hard work to accomplish, but that journey humbles you. That journey prepares you mentally, physically, spiritually, for those bigger endeavors.
Yeah, that's probably why we're going through what we're going through right now. You know, we made some mistakes. Detroit.
Hey, the term black and white got us so turned out. It has us so turned out. It's damaging.
It has become a racist situation here, but it's one that was, you know, it's really been, that we really played into based on those terms. It's not only the terms, you know, it's the history. There's a lot of history, man, of the immigration that came through here, you know.
Everything is so stacked on top of each other. It's like labeling upon labeling upon labeling. So even if you knock out one term, you still have this other two groups, you know what I mean? Like, it's stacked on top of each other. If we're not divided some way, we have to be divided another, and we have to be categorized by this.
And that's the plan. And that's the plan. And that's how they try to keep the indigenous from knowing who they are. You know, they've separated them and put them into certain situations. And by dividing us and giving us labels that keep us divided, then we stay submissive to the greater system. You know what I mean? So if we want to take care of our village and come together on a more, you know, and start making our community sustainable so that we can have stronger foundations for our local neighborhoods, you know, we really got to know the strength of who we are.
America culture is a culture based upon a system, not based upon a people and its values. None of that.
Exactly, and I really believe there's a lot of people out here who want something different. You know, it's nature. It's been that the nature of government has been that way for a while. I do believe in something different.
That's gotten me this far. Literally, the one thing that has gotten me this far is it's my urge to find something beyond this. I've known since I was little I was vibing on a different frequency than the rest of the world. I just didn't know what it was, and I thought I could fulfill it by reaching out more and getting more into popular culture and learning American culture and what that is. But my dreams now are so much bigger, and I feel so much more fulfilled now with this new state of mind.
Look, man, we are working to go home.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the whole, it's not two separate things. It's the same work.
Just which home you going to?
So that fence that you're talking about, though, the picket fence, that keeps you in, like, okay, I'm going to do this till I die. Okay, what's death? You know, we live in a constant timeline towards death. When you have an eternal mind frame, which is natural, that's not your schedule.
That's definitely not my schedule.
You know?
This is like the most incredible experience is living a tangible, three-dimensional life. Like an experience, touch, you know, feel, like our senses are so powerful. There's such a bigger experience than what you normally recognize when you're caught up in that systemized living.
Oh, wow.
Your mind doesn't think beyond that. You don't know that you can exist. You can exist and live freely and have all your needs met by living a life of desire and living a life of knowledge seeking and living a natural, cultured life.
Yeah, we sure are built to be consumers, you know? To have a need.
We are built.
It's like something I read in the Tao. And the Tao is constantly talking about, you know, it's constantly talking about nature, basically, the nature of things, but the image is of always being busy trying to fill this hole. But you gotta, you know, the nature of the whole is to be a whole. So
Yes.
you can't feel it and doing all this extra activity all the time, trying to fulfill something that may just need to be open.
Yep.
You know? But we're
Putting
definitely
shit in the
geared. We're
hole.
definitely geared in trying to put shit in the hole and
Take your
hoard.
shit out of the hole. Take your shit out of the hole. Doesn't belong there. You're covering up everything that you're supposed to be looking at. Don't take out, look in that bitch.
It might be a wormhole.
It could be a wormhole.
It might be time to go somewhere.
Where you going, Detroit?
No, that's a good thing even about a transitional time like right now, you know? It leaves room for change.
I am Ambiance, your interstellar goddess of Starfleet. Here, enjoying myself at Belle Isle.
Sure enough. DJ LaJedi, Minister of Sound, Elevator of Frequencies, signing off. Salute.
Salute, Detroit.